As a born and raised American, not an immigrant, from New York City, I will say this. American culture is trash. American culture is toxic. It's basically borderline sociopathic, and it's all about how you can step on people to get ahead, how you can succeed, even if others pay the price. It's all about being wealthy, vain, not caring about others, just fake niceness, two-facedness, and honestly, just doing anything at all costs possible to get to the top of the ladder. And the latest ongoings with the current administration have shown us how cruel people can be towards each other, such as taking away food benefits for people that are impoverished. And instead, you see people online cheering this on and saying, yes, let them starve, we don't care. Very own Americans saying this about other Americans, that we don't care about you, we don't care if you starve, it's not fair that you get to essentially have money to get food. And it's just kind of like a representation of the mentality in this country. It's like, if I don't get anything, why should you, right? There's a lot of selfishness here. And if you are not somebody that's well off, whether it's in your career or you have a lot of money, you essentially will struggle to be respected and seen as somebody that is even worthy of things like housing and education, because in America, those things aren't seen as rights, unfortunately. They're seen as privileges. Here, housing is a business, it's a commodity, it's not a right. Same thing for being educated. You have people being told to get ahead in life, you need a good education, and then we get this education to get ahead in life, put ourselves into debt, and then they blame us for the debt that we accrued because we took in the messages that they told us that in order to get ahead, we'd have to go to these schools in the first place, when we really should not have even been in higher education, but it was just a trap to get us into the debt cycle. And everyone here is just so in debt, whether it's medical debt, credit card debt, school debt, and that just seems to be the norm here. All of these vicious things that are essentially choking people in America are normalized. For example, if housing is expensive, people won't empathize with you. They'll just be like, get another job, get a better paying job, as if it were so easy, right? Wouldn't we all want better paying jobs? Wouldn't we all want to make more money? But this is just the type of thing that is common in America, this mentality where it's like, you are the problem, it's your fault. It's not because inflation is on the rise and there's a lot of policies that didn't benefit Americans that have been passed, or corrupt politicians, and so to speak. No, it's not because of any of that. It's just because of you. You didn't work hard enough. You didn't struggle enough. You didn't do this. You didn't do that. It's just a freaking blame here. And it's like, this is why so many people lack empathy for others. And so when, for example, these rich politicians cut policies that help lower class people, a lot of people cheer for this. A lot of people are excited because they're not getting those benefits themselves because they already have a lot of money. Yet they're bothered by the simple fact that other people are getting help that don't even have half as much wealth as they do. And that's just one example of just how toxic and money-driven the American mentality is. It's not about caring about others. It's not about the quality of things. It's all about the fast buck, how fast you can make money, how you can be rich, how you can be successful, how you can succeed. It's like, what is going on? Everything has just become money-based. The mentality is just completely about money. This has even affected relationships. If you're not somebody that has a lot of money or a lot of followers, a lot of social capital or wealth, you'll get kicked to the curb, and it's like, what can you offer me? What can you bring me? How can I benefit from you? How can I essentially monetize everything? So it's like, even relationships these days, people won't put in the effort unless they know you have something to offer them and give them, especially if it's money. And that's just how it is become, especially in super vain cities like New York and LA, where people just want somebody that has already all of this capital and all of this to give, but they're not there for the actual meaningful relationship. And this has created a society of parasites, of people who are just seeking things to get ahead and not really trying to make meaningful relationships. No one wants to be authentic anymore. Everyone just is trying to squeeze a penny out of everyone else. Even when it comes to finding a job, right? A lot of these postings online, they're not even real. They're not even legit jobs. They're just vain posts, fake posts for companies to just flaunt. And that's just the essential problem with America. It's just a pretty face, but on the inside, it is a rotten core. American culture breeds narcissists. American culture breeds selfish people. American culture is ingrained with these things to make people basically become sociopaths. How you can step on others to get ahead, how you can accrue as much wealth as possible. And it's crazy because the majority of us are not in that position anyway. So they'll throw their own fellow 99% under the bus just to suck up to the 1%, so to speak. And it's just insane because in a time where so many people can't even buy basic goods, here we are supporting these people, these celebrities, and these type of narcissists that wouldn't even spit on us if we were on fire. In America, everything has a price, whether it's love or loyalty. It's just how much does it cost? What's the price? And I'll pay it to get that. That's what the problem is, that everything has a price. Nothing here is priceless anymore. Things like love and family, no, forget that. Now it's like, how can I make a buck out of it? And relationships have a price to them. Loyalty has a price to it. In America, it's just about how you can succeed financially. And yes, in a way, that's good if you're an entrepreneur or you want to be, an independent boss. But this type of mentality feeds into narcissism, feeds into delusion, feeds into self-importance, feeds into vanity, feeds into this just belief that you're better than everyone else and that everyone should be kissing your feet. And it makes it so much harder to succeed in trying to find honest relationships and connections, and even trying to find people that are actually there for you as a person, because it's like, are these people in my life because they care about me or because they know I can provide them something? And that's a very twisted reality to live in and exist in. I myself don't like this. I don't like this modern culture. I don't like how other countries and youth try to emulate American culture. I don't like how influential America is in this aspect, because I've heard people internationally also complain that it's becoming like this where they're from. And that's truly tragic, because I would love to escape this type of system and type of culture and mentality where, we just have people with high, full egos, people that are vain and selfish and will even brag about how they hurt others and step on others to get to where they are. It's like being cold, ruthless, and a sociopath is praised now, instead of being warm or humble or loving and giving. That is seen as weakness. That is seen as vulnerability in the United States. If you are that way, you are seen as meek, as a fool, as letting people step on you. And that is seen negatively in the United States. American culture is just a toxic, abusive, diseased culture. And this is why so many people feel so lonely and dejected and rejected, because they just don't feel like they can keep up or they can fit into this, system or culture that we are currently exhibiting and displaying for the world to see. And a lot of people are starting to wake up and realize, this is not me. This is not what I want to exist in or be a part of or contribute to, which is why a lot of Americans have moved overseas and have left the United States, because it's just a pernicious culture and it's just such a divided time that we are living in. So please, if you are a non-American that believes that life here is just going to welcome you with open arms, it's just becoming harder and harder for that to be a reality. Like, people here really have become very selfish, very self-centered, very all about themselves, very me, 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 me. And I just want to tell any people that are watching from abroad, please don't be this way. Don't emulate the American way. Don't emulate the United States culture type, because it is not one that is positive. And honestly, I would love to know where in the world it is not like this, where people are not so toothpaced and vain and fake. I'm the type of person where it's like, I love people that are blunt and direct and tell me as is what it is, because that to me is more effective and just honest, and it's just like, if you know any places in the world that are like that, please drop them down below in the comments so I can start my research and honestly think about moving there or something, because it just cannot keep going on the way that it currently is. It's just very unhealthy and draining. Anyways, that's all I had to say for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you're also an American, please leave me a comment down below, because I'd love to hear from you and your take on this. Do you also feel what's going on? Do you also believe American culture is toxic or just trash? Let me know, because I would love to know your take on this. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe and like for more. Until next time, have a good one. Bye.